So, don't usually make videos like this, but I just really wanted to show you guys this. It arrived the other day whilst I was out at work, and we bought it while Eaglemoss had their special discount on. I don't know whether that was a mistake or not, because everything was like really cheap, but anyway. So it arrived, and we didn't hear from them at all about kind of regarding postage or anything, and we thought they might have cancelled it if you know, if the discounts were a mistake. But I guess not, because it's here and it looks absolutely amazing. I was holding off buying it because the price was just a little bit too high. But I saw the box in Forbidden Planet in London, and the box made me want to buy it because it's my favourite Dalek design. So I had to hold back hard, and when we saw the discount, we just jumped straight on it. So yeah, so here it is. I'm going to do a close-ups of the figure first, and then I'll show you the bits later on, so you can see those later. But yeah, basically what it is a much larger version of their Dead Planet Dalek they released like quite a while ago now, towards the start of their range. Well, not towards the start, but earlier on in their range anyway. And it is absolutely stunning. I've waited for a Dead Planet Dalek that's kind of a bigger scale for such a long time, because Project Enterprise never did one in their remote controlled range. Or any other ranges for that matter that they did. So this is kind of the first big one that's ever been released, officially as far as I'm aware. It looks absolutely amazing. They've really captured kind of what these Daleks are like. So yeah, the one thing about it that's I don't think is completely accurate is the eye rings are kind of grey, and I think they should be blue like the rest of it, but I don't know, something about it just looks loads like the actual real props in the on the TV show, so especially if you view it from the front, you can't even see the difference. And obviously as a design it is quite minimal, so there's not loads of detail going on, but what is there is kind of perfect really. And like, you know, the gun and everything has never been moulded like this before. Beautiful sheen on the head dome and the bands around the middle. There's this kind of strange reflective shape on the skirt there, and I think I read that someone said that's where the computers tried to compensate for the unusual bend in the skirt, which might be true, and it does kind of, you can see that, and if you wanted it to be completely screen accurate that would probably quite annoy you, but I don't really mind. It looks kind of cool. And I think, you know, in terms of the model as a whole, I'm surprised we even had this at all, to be honest. They released the gold one, which we held off buying because it looks a bit chunky. It looks a bit like the early 5-inch gold Daleks did. And obviously since then it's been quite a while, and they've released this one now, and especially compared to their original version of it as well, it's such an improvement. So here's the original Dead Planet Dalek release, which I still really like. It's nice to have it, but when you kind of look at the difference, obviously the size is a huge difference, but kind of just even on the head dome, that could have been captured probably in the smaller scale, and actually it was really, when they did their invasion type, they kind of did that really well. So even you can just see in this scale how much they've improved, and it's really nice to bring this design into a much larger scale. You can kind of see how they've refined their skill in 60s Daleks from this one right up to this one, which kind of looks just like it should do really. They got the kind of, the blues are slightly different actually on the balls. These are kind of slightly more turquoisey, kind of light blue, and these are slightly more darker. I'm not really sure which is more accurate, but yeah, character options one's kind of in between. Yeah, it's amazing to have it, and it looks really, really nice. So if you can get it at a reasonable price, I can't recommend it enough. Even small touches like the little glass dome lights. You can imagine it kind of just in the shots in the episode. One of the reasons why I like these Daleks so much is because of, I mean, in the episode even, they're kind of like the typical Dalek design, aren't they? Like, it captures the essence of what a Dalek is. And the way they're filmed, and the way that they're kind of operated, and the way they speak, they all have individual kind of characteristics and personalities, and they have like statues in the Dalek City, and they seem to have more of a culture in that episode. That's what I love so much about the 60s Daleks, and I think in the Dead Planet they really kind of nailed that, which became less of a thing as kind of the episodes went by. So yes, I don't think I'll be buying the gold one, but this guy is amazing, and if they do any more kind of classic ones, I'm surprised they chose this first, to be honest. You'd think they'd do a Genesis one first, but I guess they kind of wanted to go for the two ends of the spectrum. And actually, speaking of the character options ones, to me this version looks a lot more like a real prop than theirs does, even though it has the inaccuracy of like kind of the eye rings. And obviously there's not a lot of mesh detail there either, I don't think there's any. But that wasn't all visible on screen anyway, to be honest, at all times. It's not posable at all. But, you know, that doesn't really impede the design because it's in quite a neutral pose anyway, so you can kind of just position it however you like. And then you've kind of got it looking kind of pretty menacing, just kind of standing there. He's also got a foam, velvet on the base, like the other one, so you can kind of place it down and move it around without worrying about scratching the surface or scratching the model. And then there's one more massive selling point of this for me, and that is that you can kind of put him with the Big Chief Hartnell. He's a bit too small, to be quite honest, but together they look kind of amazing. And to say that one of them's from the first episode of the series and one of them's from the second, it's just kind of second serial rather. It's just nice to have them together as kind of my favourite Dalek and my favourite Doctor as well. I've been looking for a Dalek that can stand with the Big Chief First Doctor for a while, and I think this is probably the best we're going to get in terms of the sizing. It's a little bit too small, but I think it's kind of together they look incredible, so it's all good. Okay, so this is the box. So it's really big, lovely and shiny as well. It's got loads of nice kind of imagery and text on it. It's a really nice kind of figurine. Like I said, they've got this on display in Forbidden Planet, but they stupidly haven't got the actual Dalek out, so you can't really get a sense of it. I mean, I certainly hadn't any idea of what it actually looked like until you actually see it in the flesh, and you see kind of how chunky it is and how substantial it is. You don't really get that from the photographs, because I guess you see them so frequently anyway. Kind of Dalek imagery. But yeah, he's incredible. And then inside are two big pieces of polystyrene that fall together like a book cover, and it's kind of sealed up inside there. When you first open the box, this is there, which is a certificate that's printed on like certificate paper that kind of certifies its authenticity. And then finally, with like all Eaglemoss, you get a little magazine which has like kind of a really nice selection of articles in about the 60s Dalek design and kind of their relevance to modern Who, set design, which is amazing as well to have some information about, and then kind of an episode guide to all the 60s episodes. So it's kind of the definite kind of 60s Dalek mini guide, I suppose. Nice little bit about Evil of the Daleks in there. Yeah, it's great. I just wish it was longer. But to be fair, they didn't need to. Sorry, that was my chair. To be fair, they didn't need to even include the book. They could have just given you the figure and I would have been happy. So it's lovely to have kind of an additional few little bits and pieces. And just so some shots now of different angles so you can get a feel for kind of what it actually physically looks like. Such a nice thing to have to kind of commemorate that first Dalek story, because it really is an amazing episode and my favourite design, definitely, in Classic Who. Can't recommend it enough, basically, if you can find it at a price you're happy to pay. Yeah, so thanks for watching this video. Sorry this is kind of so quickly made, not very polished or anything. I just wanted to show you guys this because it's a really nice figure and I just thought like it was a good thing to put on today, because the channel's kind of quiet at the minute. There are more animations and stuff coming up. We're just very busy, and they're on the way.